Aren't you gonna open the door for me?
Yeah, I was literally just about to.
As you should.
Shut that door. Shut that door.
I think I left him on the seat. 1 second. I just gotta move it for you. I don't want you to sit on it.
Okay.
Please drive off. Please drive off. Please drive off.
What age did you wake up and realize that you no longer wanted to be a strong?
She pretty much talks about like coming to the realization that she no longer wants to be a strong, independent Black woman. I will have to say that it's just now hitting me. I just turned 33, and I will say, I think it's this year that it's really hit me that I do not want the title of a strong, independent Black.
Men are now at a point to where they're walking away and they don't mind being alone. Y'all have messed it up. Women, a lot of us have messed it up. And like I said, even surprisingly to me, like I was noticing and seeing so many men, like I desire family. I desire commitment. I desire marriage. I desire to have a woman. I want to provide for a woman, take care of a family. Like men have been wanting that. But now you're starting to see more and more men become more and more comfortable with the idea of not having any of that, because men are valuing and desiring their peace over everything else.
The app does not care how many relationships, how many marriages they create. The app cares how much money they bring in short-term and long-term. Auto swiping right. It doesn't work with most algorithms. Reason being that if you are automatically swiping right, there are two things happening. Number one, the app is rating you based on how selective or unselective you are, and it's correlating unselective to unattractive in many cases. So you're going to be seen by the app as less attractive. Also, if you are willing to swipe right on mediocre girls, the app has no incentive to show you attractive girls. So the auto swipe right strategy, which did actually kind of work in the very early days of online dating, absolutely does not work in most apps now. And that's something you need to understand, because the algorithm will be against you if you employ such a strategy.
Let's be honest about the sexual history debate as a whole and how it affects relationships. Certainly a few people contend that an individual's past shouldn't characterize their value. However, we should not mess with ourselves. Shared values and similarity do matter. The idea that men prefer women with a low body count or none at all isn't just a hunch. It's an inclination that many hold, regardless of whether letting it out is not pleasant. Here's how things are. Trust and correspondence are the foundation of any strong relationship. Assuming somebody wants to lie or conceal their past, that is a warning not too far off. On the off chance that you can't be forthright about where you've been, what else would you say you're stowing away? Transparency, not half-truths or omissions for convenience, should be the foundation of relationships. But let's change the subject for a moment. False accusations against men are not a laughing matter. We've all heard the horror stories about guys whose lives were turned upside down by false claims. Their track record ruined, their future wrecked. What's more, we should not imagine this isn't occurring on school grounds the nation over. The system that is referred to as justice frequently amounts to a farce, bending over backwards to please one side while violating the rights of the accused.
Put your head on my shoulder, hold me in your arms, baby.
Both hands on the back when I tap it, grab it and slap it, Becky a savage. Let me show you a magic trick you can have.
How much of a body count are we talking here when we're talking, like, can you tell us like the top 3 you've heard from some girls?
The highest I've ever heard from a girl, it was like 340 something.
What? 340 something?
That's
the highest I've ever heard is like 100, and I thought that was
Where
the craziest
are you
number.
hearing that from? I've heard way higher too.
Then what?
than like 340. I've heard like, I'm just saying 100's the highest you've heard.
Yeah. And I thought that was crazy.
It was around 340. I think it was like 346, if I remember exactly.
What about some other high numbers? Any
Unless
like
it's
100
small.
plus?
Yeah, there's a few of those for sure.
A few 100 plus.
As a professional matchmaker, I see so many great women get declined by men for really silly reasons. So men, what are the main reasons why you would decline meeting a woman? Post your reasons in the comments attached, and I want to see if my theories are correct behind this.
Okay, when I was a kid, I was convinced that I was going to be like married by the time I was 22, get a house by the time I was 25, have my first kid at 28, graduate college, ring by spring, find a husband. No, here I am, 24. I am single. I travel the country for my job, and I love my job. But do I want a husband? Do I want children? Yes. But that old expectation that 16-year-old me had has now faced the reality of the world, and I would like to be married by the time I'm 28. So I've got 4 years to find a suitor. I would like my first kid by the time I'm 30. I would like to buy a house also when I get married. I plan to buy a house in like the next 4 to 5 years if saving and everything goes according to plan with the current living situation. But did anyone else, I feel like us girls just lived in delusion when we were in like high school and middle school and convinced ourselves like 21 felt so old, and now I'm like, that was years ago.
Yes, actual assault and harassment cases must be taken seriously. In any case, this frantic hurry to trust each and every case without examination. Innocent lives are destroyed in this manner. It is past due that we demand fairness and due process for all parties. In theory, the notion that feminism is all about equality sounds appealing. However, in practice, to make a point, it frequently entails throwing men under the bus. Women's liberation is certainly not a one-size-fits-all development. A few women's activists are really worried about halting orientation-based viciousness, while others are more about pushing their own plan regardless of the expense. Conversations that don't portray all women as saints or all men as predators are necessary. It's no time like the present we found some kind of harmony that safeguards everybody's privileges in addition to the most intense voices in the room.
We can all agree that modern dating just sucks, right? Gen Z is so hooked on dating apps, yet refuses to actually go on a date, and it's all just a game to everyone. We all know it. Oh, and not to mention the dating expectations and hookup culture. So statistically speaking, Gen Z is the most incapable generation of even forming bonds with a partner because of previous hookups. Oh, and men are too scared to ask women out the right way because they don't want to seem too into the girl, but then girls are so into their boss babe, corporate girly eras to even go on a date. It's exhausting, honestly. And the reason why so many people in our generation are single and depressed is because you're trying to find a purpose in the worldly things around you, which I promise will leave you nothing but disappointed. Gen Z, I'm telling you guys, it's time to wake up and stop listening to the lies of the world around you.
Bogus cases are nothing to joke about, and they should be treated in a serious way. However, so does the experience of real survivors. All that matters is establishing a just system in which justice is not just a buzzword, but a reality. To fix this, we owe it to everyone. It can be eye-opening for men who are serious about long-term relationships to delve into various cultural contexts. There's a long way to go from the qualities and standards in places like the Center East, Eastern Europe, and Southeast Asia. These regions frequently have more conventional views of family life, which may provide the kind of dynamics in relationships that some men believe are lacking in the West. In any case, we should not gloss over it. Thinking a lady's worth is exclusively attached to her body count is more or less shallow. Reducing someone's value to a single number misses the point entirely because people are complex. A few examinations recommend a connection among wantonness and difficulties in shaping long-haul bonds. Yet that is not the entire story. Communication, trust, and mutual respect are what really make relationships work. Relationships are about so much more than that. Presently, the counsel to get monetarily stable and investigate better places. Exactly right. It's important to expand your horizons, but let's face it, in the event that you're simply bouncing societies to view as a superior lady in light of some obsolete agenda, you're not exactly understanding what is most important to connections. Don't just make a list of things to buy. Approach these new experiences with an open mind. The fact of the matter is that a person's past is only one part of a healthy relationship. People change over time, and what they used to be doesn't always reflect who they are now. Certainly, knowing someone's past is part of getting to know them. But this concludes our A4 anonymous coverage for the day. Click that like button, please. Make sure you hit that notification bell in addition to subscribing. Leave a comment telling us what you think. Have a great day tomorrow.